Neil from Essex here, out today with the Gamble family running a Krone forage harvester. If you've ever been curious what it's like to run a forage harvester, come along with me here today and we'll show you some of the skill that is involved in operating these enormous machines.
Essex, a helping hand with your land.
So tell me a little bit about your farm. How long have you guys farmed for?
Well, I took over from my dad in 2000.
Okay.
And he's been farming since 1948.
Okay. So is that when you kind of track the beginning of your family farm too, or does it go back before that?
No, it goes before that, but that's when Dad started.
Okay. So he had family before then even.
Oh yeah.
And what's your operation look like at this point? You custom harvesting and stuff, I know, but what do you guys do for yourselves?
We have beef cattle.
Okay.
And we raise beans and corn and soybeans and hay, and we cut barley and wheat, everything, and then we feed a lot of them. We got about around 1,000 head of cattle.
So most of your chopping is for yourself then, or for others?
No, we do about half and half. We used to do a lot more custom work, but we started buying a few farms. A couple farms come up for sale local here to us. And we started, I told Brady, I said, we're going to buy them and take them up for sale because you only get a once in a lifetime opportunity to buy a farm beside you. So we're pretty gung-ho on that.
So as long as I'm not distracting you too much, tell me what you're doing here, because you're driving the machine around the corner and also looking behind you and aiming your spout because your cart's straight behind you.
Well, you got to watch these tree limbs, and then the guys dodge the tree limbs, and then you got to dodge them, more or less.
So this is the hardest pass right here, right?
Absolutely.
When the cart's behind you like this.
Yeah. What up? I got metal. Now that's a metal alert. Now they took a fence right here, so there was probably a piece of wire sticking up. See that?
Yep, right there it is. That
would kill a cow.
Flip, yeah.
Modern technology is unbelievable. We get in hay ground, and you'll dig and dig and dig in them windrows and can't find it. But if you stay long enough and dig for it, you'll find it.
So the one thing that's a little unique on some Krone choppers is this head.
Easy collection.
Yeah. What, have you run like a regular Kemper style head before?
Oh yeah, I used to have New Hollands.
Yep.
And they all had Kemper type heads.
Yeah.
We done corn the other day that was rootworm. Terrible. I mean, it had sled runners on it 2 feet, just out like that. The corn was about 4 feet tall. And we cut that and we got dang near every ounce of it. With a Kemper head, it would have cut that off and it would have laid right on that head and it wouldn't have pushed her through because the stalks were so rotten.
So with a little experience, this is your preference at this point, you'd say?
Oh yeah, definitely. This has a kernel processor in it.
Yeah.
Which once you chop it, it smashes the grain and the cob. And it used to be whenever you chop corn, you'd have a big round circle of cob in your silage, and then the cows would root that away.
Okay.
And then the whole kernels of corn that didn't get cut with a knife would bypass through the animal. Or now with the processing, the cattle gets to digest all of that.
So the machine then is chopping the standing corn, grinding up the stalk, smashing the kernels down so that they're digestible.
Kernel processor, they call it, the roller mill in there. It smashes. One roll runs a little faster than the other to give it that little bit of a ripping motion.
And then this doesn't go straight to the animal then, right? So you had to have...
Well, we've got to bag it or trench it or silo it, and it has to go through a fermentation.
And so what's the fermentation process then? Because again, we're largely talking to maybe a non-farm audience here, right? So,
Well, they wanted at least a 3-week at the
Okay.
minimum for it to go through a fermentation.
and what's in that fermentation? What's happening exactly?
Well, the stalk actually it heats
Okay.
and then it more or less cures. So
And at the end of all of that, it heats and cures, and the more digestible at that point.
yeah, and then also they use an additive which I have on the side, which is right here. I have a liquid hit down here and a dry,
Okay.
and that helps. They don't want it to get hot, because when it gets hot, it loses value
Okay.
in the silage. So what they want it to do, they put that inoculant on, they call it, preservative, and that helps it go through so it don't get as hot, but so it don't lose the value of it.
Okay. So who has the harder job here then, you or the cart?
Well, I think I do, but all they have to do is keep it beside me. I got to get it in the cart.
So I know you run the chopper too. Who's got the harder job, you or your dad?
I believe the chopper.
The chopper. When you're driving back here, what are you thinking about?
I usually just try to keep in the center of the spout and always watch his tail lights, because if he stops, you can
Okay.
run into him really quick, but if you watch his tail lights, they light up.
That's a fair point because we're close.
Yeah, you're within, you try to be as close as you can, but
Yeah. So he sees something in the field, and
Yeah,
stomps
like-
on the brakes, and
right here ain't too bad. Like whenever you're opening up a new field around like a fence row,
Yeah.
there can be a tree that fell down, and in the standing corner, you don't know it's there till you're more or less in it.
yeah. So the dance of you being in the right spot and him aiming, I think, is pretty interesting. So like, in a case like this, you're straight behind. And
Yeah,
then-
it ain't too bad. But like there on the corner, if you try to make it wide and keep your wagon where it's, because whenever you turn the chopper, obviously the spout moves with it,
Yeah.
and you got a lot to look at whenever you're opening up. You're trying to watch your head and watch the wagon, and
You ever blast the tractor before?
oh yeah, you think it's coming through the windshield. I guarantee you.
Do you have a good sense of when the wagon's full, or are you kind of relying on?
I like whenever I'm filling a wagon to fill the back, well, fill the whole bottom first, kinda, and then start at the back, and then I keep slowing down that way.
Okay.
Obviously, I can see the back's getting full, and as I slow down till I'm full, it's right here at the front where I can see. And I always keep an eye on the chopper. He kind of like waves his hand every once in a while, like whenever you're full,
Yeah.
then you know when to stop.
So you pulled this piece of wire out earlier.
Yep.
What's the craziest thing you guys have found in a field?
Oh, there's been a lot of crazy things. We cut a coyote clean in half one day when we were cutting corn like this. But that metal detector definitely saves a lot. One day we found a whole, like a turtle shell off the hay bind.
Okay.
It has like the knives on it and everything.
Yeah.
We were cutting hay. Boy, if that would have went through the machine, you know, that would have just demolished everything.
thousands of dollars.
But it's crazy, like hunks of wire like that, it'll be laying in the field and it'll grow up with the corn. And you wouldn't think that, but that's the only way for that to get in the machine.
You guys have a bunch of different tractors, so what is your preference for transmission?
Definitely a CVT,
Yeah.
for sure. We had one of our 315s, something happened to it, and they brought us out a T8 power shift to use, and I jumped in it, and I stalled it, I think, twice until I ever got ready on it again. As easy as get in and put it in gear and go. I think the power shift are definitely more snappy, like
Yeah.
torquey, but I don't know. I'd much rather have this.
What's the guts of the inside of the bagger? They don't sell those. Is that actually that would pack it before it pushes it back in?
Yep, it's like a big rotor. I don't know how big around it, like with teeth on it, and it spins, and it just keeps pushing
It's actually
it in.
pushing it, forcing it back.
Yep, and then them cables are on brakes. There's disc brakes on each cable there, and that's you see it jumping.
that holds the
So like it,
tension.
you just
Yeah.
pump the brakes till
So you leave the tractor in neutral.
yep, tractor's in neutral, then it packing it in there, and it's crazy how much it really packs.
But yeah, you just think in terms of the amount of material going in
Yeah.
versus how fast the tractor moves back.
And there's so many different types of baggers. I mean, there's some that we run into you need like 300 horsepower on to run, but you can unload the wagon in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Right.
As quick as you can run it out the front, it'll take it.
Special thanks to the Gamble family for having us out today. It is awesome to see these machines at 800, 900,000 horsepower, chewing up corn at 10 miles an hour, spitting it out into a wagon. It is a phenomenally incredible, powerful piece of equipment and is super fun to watch. If you're shopping for a piece of machinery like this, or if you have parts and service needs for equipment you've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Messick's.com.